mystery
in our history.
Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to the Mystery in Our History podcast, where we take an in-depth look at all things urban legend and conspiracy theory related and how they came to be. I'm J.R. Supa, that's Chris Berry, aka Chris B_OMG, and
That's right.
here we go.
Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitch nowadays, Twitch TV/Chris B_OMG. Streaming over there these days. They're pretty garbage and boring, but I'm always down to chill and chat. So if you're looking for someone to just hang out with, I'll be there.
I feel like your Twitch streams are the equivalent of like anybody who likes playing any like farm simulator or Animal Crossings or anything like that would like your streams, because you can just get high and chill and just see the chillness that happens there. Like that's not that I'm advocating for anything, but like that's essentially it's just a chill vibe, as opposed to like these people that are serious, like hardcore gamers.
Oh, dude, I can't do the hardcore gaming thing. I just can't do it. It takes too much out of me.
Yeah.
So, chilling, easy going.
Well, welcome to the show. We've been gone for a while because of the corona and, of course, me having my first son / baby.
Yes. Congrats, by the way.
Thank you. So it's even though we released a couple of QAnon episodes, we haven't actually recorded since before the birth of Logan.
Yeah.
So
all
Chris
those are pre-recorded.
Chris and I have missed each other dearly.
For sure.
Now, before we get started, Chris and I have been discussing in our downtime how to make the show better, and also provide more interesting content for our listeners. So you're going to be seeing some format changes in the coming episodes, including this one. We're also going to try and incorporate some review aspects, not only to the show, both TV and movie reviews, but we may just have an episode here and there that is strictly a review of a movie or TV show.
Yeah.
The mystery and the history aspects are here to stay, but the goal is obviously to provide interesting and great content for everyone. So that's what we're going to try and do here, and we hope you like it.
Yeah. Again, I just wanted to do a little bit something different. Please, if you're a viewer or a listener, please comment and let us know what you think. I'd love to have feedback.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get listeners and viewers just more involved with the podcast as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's instead of just me doing a bunch of research, reading from an outline, and Chris jumping in and us going back and forth. We really want to switch things up and kind of make things less stale, I guess, or I think that's the right word. But anyway, with that said, let's start the show and begin talking about my favorite cryptid of all time, the Jersey Devil.
Hell yeah.
So excited for this episode. Now, the Jersey Devil, also known as the Leeds Devil, is a legendary creature said to inhabit the Pine Barrens of South Jersey. The creature is often described as a flying biped with hooves, but there are many variations. The common description is that of a kangaroo-like or wyvern-like creature, with a goat or horse-like head, leathery bat-like wings, horns, small arms with clawed hands, legs with cloven hooves, and a forked tail. It's been reported to move quickly and is often described as emitting a high-pitched, blood-curdling scream.
Yeah, and that's like the like average description, but there are so many takes on that thing, and different interpretations. So keep that in mind, obviously, when you're looking up Jersey Devil stuff. If you see something that doesn't look like that at all, well, people take some liberties. So.
Yes, a lot of liberties, but that's just one interpretation. My personal favorite interpretation on the Jersey Devil is the one that comes from the origin story of the Jersey Devil.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's so good, and that's what we're going to tackle right now. It's so friggin' fantastic, everything that happens. So let's journey back to 1735.
All right. I'm there.
Yes.
Mentally.
A Pines resident known as Mother Leeds found herself pregnant for the 13th time. It should be known that Leeds is the name of one of New Jersey's earliest settlers, and many descendants of the Leeds family can actually still be found throughout New Jersey to this day. Now, Mother Leeds was not living a wealthy lifestyle by any means. Her husband was a drunkard who made few efforts to provide for his wife and 12 children.
That guy sounds like a real charmer, huh?
Yeah, he's
Piece of shit.
yeah, nice guy, right?
Yeah.
Hey, at least he stuck around, Chris.
Yeah, at least he was there. He was drunk all the time, but at least he was there.
Daddy was never there. Reaching the point of absolute exasperation upon learning of her 13th child, Mother Leeds is said to have proclaimed, "Let this one be a devil." Mother Leeds went into labor a few months later on a tumultuously stormy night, because it always has to be a stormy night.
Yeah, of course. I mean, if the big JD was born on a bright sunny day, he might be friendly or pleasant.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's got to be stormy. It's got to be ominous.
While her children and husband huddled together in the next room of their Leeds Point home, while local midwives gathered to deliver the baby in the other. And, by all accounts, the birth went routinely, and the 13th Leeds child was a seemingly normal baby boy. Within minutes, however, Mother Leeds' unholy wish months before began to come to fruition. The baby started to change, and metamorphosized right before Mother Leeds and the midwives. Within moments, it transformed from a beautiful newborn baby into a hideous creature unlike anything the world had ever seen. The wailing infant began growing at an incredible rate. It sprouted horns from the top of its head, and a talon-like claw tore through the tips of its fingers. Leathery, bat-like wings unfurled from its back, and hair and feathers sprouted all over the child's body. Its eyes began glowing bright red as they grew larger in the monster's gnarled and snarling face. The creature savagely attacked its own mother, killing her, then turned its attention to the rest of the horrified onlookers who witnessed its tempestuous transformation. It flew at them, clawing and biting, voicing unearthly shrieks the entire time. It tore the midwives limb from limb, maiming some and killing others.
Man, I was gonna say, like, seeing your baby, like your newborn baby, right? I mean, you can relate to this. You just had a baby. Like, okay, so you're holding Logan. You're just like, oh man, great. And then suddenly it's just transforming into this demon. That's just it fucked you up forever. But I mean, then again,
so unnerving.
Killed it right away. So I guess you don't have to worry about that either.
That's true. I mean, they do look like aliens when they first come out, especially like because we had a C-section. It was scheduled, but we had a C-section. So, like, he came out, and they're just gray. They look like a little alien. They're gray and goopy, and it's weird. And so, like, and they dropped the curtain for us. So there were two curtains, right? So you can't see through it. The baby's out. They drop the blue curtain. The doctor's like, hey, here's your baby. And then they pull the curtain back up, and they sew you up. Meanwhile, like, her organs are just outside of her body, just hanging out on the table. Like, you're looking at a baby going, what the fuck is all of this? Like, what is happening right now?
Yeah.
But
shit,
yes,
dude.
like if he just like started crying and then all of a sudden was like, oh, by the way,
yeah, right,
a fucking devil child. Although he kind of turned into that anyway because he cries all the
time. Oh yeah, little ones are like that.
Exactly. So the monster then knocked down the door to the next room, where its own father and siblings cowered in fear and attacked them all, killing as many as it could. Those who survived, including Father Leeds, then watched in horror as the rotten beast sprinted to the chimney and flew up it, destroying it on the way and leaving a pile of rubble in its wake. The creature then made its escape into the darkness and desolation of the Pine Barrens, where it has lived ever since. To this day, the creature, known varyingly as the Leeds Devil and the Jersey Devil, claims the pines as its own and terrorizes any who are unfortunate enough to encounter it.
God damn, dude. Go figure that dad lived.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like drunk drivers.
Yes.
It's like drunk drivers never die. They always kill someone else.
Yeah.
It's just like this guy. It's just
you
like,
always,
fuck, man.
yeah, you always hear about the drunk driver being the one that like walks away from the crash.
Yeah.
It's upsetting.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it's upsetting that the dad lived and like 3/4 of the friggin' other people in the house are just dead.
Right, just got slaughtered.
But that's the origin of the Jersey Devil. And this particular cryptid has not only inspired the mascot of my favorite NHL team, hockey team, the New Jersey Devils. That's right, folks. On June 30th, 1982, the team that was formerly the Kansas City Scouts and the Colorado Rockies, NHL Colorado Rockies, was renamed the New Jersey Devils after the legend of the Jersey Devil, after 10,000 people voted in a contest held to select the name. But the Jersey Devil also has been the inspiration for countless movies and television shows, including The X-Files.
God, I love The X-Files, man. This was a pleasure to watch because I just love the show so much.
Yes, I know, right? And like, it's so funny because I was in a rewatch of The X-Files, and I probably got like 4 or 5 seasons in, because I think there's like 11 seasons if you count like the newest ones that they like came out with again.
Yeah, totally.
I got to like season 4 or 5, and then they ripped it down from Prime.
Dude, I know, man. I know.
So now I'm using Jill's friend's Hulu account. The upside to Jill's friend's Hulu account is she has Hulu Live, which means you can use the Hulu Live login on HBO Max, which just launched today.
There you go.
HBO Max is the tits.
Oh, yeah?
So good.
Nice.
But anyway, yes, I was bummed when they took it down from Prime.
Ah, dude, I feel you. Because, like, dude, okay, it was on Netflix. That's where I started watching it again. I watched it on Netflix. Gone. So I was like, all right, shit, I gotta find it and watch it somewhere else. I was watching it on Hulu, but I kept getting commercials. I was just like, I'm over this.
Why do I pay for Hulu?
Right. So I got rid of Hulu, and I was like, oh, it's on Prime. Great. And I started watching it there. And then when we went to watch the episode, it was gone. I was just like, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, I think Hulu might be the only place it's on now.
Yeah, I think that's right.
And you got to pay for like Hulu Live to not have commercials.
Yeah, it's crazy. Which is significantly more expensive. It's like $13 a month, isn't it?
If not more. I thought Hulu Live was like 20 or something like that.
Oh, it's crazy.
But you get like it's essentially cable.
That's fair.
Yeah. But we're going to talk about X-Files Season 1, Episode 5, for the reference to our viewers who would like to watch that particular episode.
Titled The Jersey Devil, even.
Correct. And I feel like this shouldn't be necessary since the show's almost 30 years old. But spoilers ahead.
Listen, if we spoil it for you after 30 years, that's not
I'm not sorry.
Yeah.
But there are spoilers ahead. All right, so here's a synopsis of the episode. When a homeless man is found in the woods just outside Atlantic City with his arm and shoulder chewed off, Mulder thinks it may be the work of the fabled Jersey Devil. Mulder has an X-file from a killing in 1947 where a man who stopped to fix a flat tire was snatched and dragged into the woods in front of his wife and children. The agents are in Atlantic City informally, but they get little or no support from the local police. It's clear they know there's a beast out there, but are worried about the impact it might have on tourism if it became widely known. Mulder and Scully investigate on their own with the help of a park ranger and paleontologist.
Okay, dude. I have to confess. That intro that was in 1947.
Yeah.
Dude, I was watching that intro and I was just like, what time is this taking place? And then like, you know, they were talking about like how they God, I guess I just didn't pick up that it was from 1947 and that it was like literally just like the day before.
So,
like, sort of thing.
I was in the exact same boat, right? So, like, I'm watching this, and I was taking notes, and the first note I wrote, the second note I wrote, because the first note I wrote is still there, but the second note that I wrote about this episode was, why does this chase seem like it's happening in 1930?
Dude, I did the same thing. I was like, this is 1990. It feels like the 50s. What's going on?
I was like, why does this look like a 1930s Bonnie and Clyde like chase through the woods? I don't understand what's happening right now. Yes,
and hats
they
and
look.
like...
Yeah, they were dressed appropriately for the times, but they had like the newsboy caps and like all this stupid shit. And I didn't pick up that it was 1947. I don't know if there was like a line on the screen that I just missed. Or, you know what I mean? Like, they could have just, like, flashed that said, like, 1947, Atlantic City. Like, I could have just missed that. There's a very good chance that there is, because X-Files does that a lot.
Yeah. If
But
they did, I missed it too.
I missed it, and I was just like, what the fuck? And then all of a sudden, it's like, oh, there was a 1947 case about a guy that got dragged away from the car, and I was like, well, we'll go back and delete that line.
Yeah, because like the family in the car are just like singing along, and I'm just like, why aren't they listening to the radio? Like, what family does this?
Yeah.
But yeah, it turns out families in 47 do that.
So funny. All right. So we're going to take this episode step by step and just, review the episode. This is one of these new format changes that we're trying out. So
yeah,
before I start going through the synopsis, we were talking about the intro. The first thing that I wrote down is when the guy, like the guy in 47, when he loses the flashlight and just goes, darn it. All I could think of was A Christmas Story when he goes, oh, fudge.
Oh man, I also love that, like, just like the lore of this episode is just like, it's a known fact that the Jersey Devil loves to chew up cars and then eat human flesh too. It's just known.
Where does that come
it's
from?
not. Right. It was because
it came to fruition in 1735. Where did I like to eat cars come from?
Yeah, and again, it's just like it's funny because the episode's titled Jersey Devil, so it's leading. The whole thing. You're just like, okay, this is the Jersey Devil.
It leaves nothing to the imagination.
Why is he eating cars? Yeah.
All right. So the show starts off with that 1947 nonsense that we were just talking about, and then it fades into Scully brings a case to Mulder's attention, and Mulder pulls an X-file about the Jersey Devil. So the two of them go to Atlantic City and take a look, where they meet Detective Dickhead. Yes,
and this is where Detective Dickhead was just like, yeah, I don't know. They chased him down the woods, and it was just a naked man in a cave that we pumped full of lead. Because, they show them just pumping that cave full of lead, dude.
Yes.
It's like 10 guys with shotguns just shooting blindly in there. So, apparently, the Jersey Devil is just a naked man. So, Nothing to worry, guys.
I know. All right, so Scully goes back to D.C., while Mulder stays in Atlantic City to do a little extra digging.
Yep. And I guess we're just going to leave out Scully's side plot here of finding love. Because it's
stupid.
Probably for the best.
Stupid.
It's so dry and boring.
Ugh.
So dry, dude. Holy shit. Talk about
have a couple
eating
comments
crackers in the desert.
I know. I have a couple comments on it, but yes, it's not an important part of this episode in any way, shape, or form. It's literally just a reason for Scully not to be in Atlantic City.
Right, exactly. I didn't watch the episode for that. Listeners didn't come here for that. We're going to skip it.
Yeah. Fuck Scully. Mulder meets the park ranger who tells him all about the shit he's seen.
Oh, dude, that park ranger, by the way, I just want to throw out there, I aspire to be that man when I'm like 50. Like, that guy was just like the cowboy hat, the ranger jacket. Dude, we was like running around with the rifle and shit. I was just like, oh man, he had long hair, mustache. I'm already on my way. I'm going to be that guy when I grow up.
Dude.
I'm going to be a park ranger.
I literally wrote down, the detective is a complete dick. The park ranger is awesome. I love that he was talking about finding human shit out in the woods, where, by the way, homeless people just kind of hang out sometimes, and small tools, and he's just like, no big.
No biggie. Yep. He's just like, I've seen large men without, quote unquote, a stitch of clothing sniffing the air like a dog, and took off, but we all talk about that. I'm close to pension. I believe he even said that. He's just like, I'm on my way to pension.
Yeah, he's like, I'm on my way out the door. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, he's just like, we don't talk about that. I need to retire.
All right. Mulder searches the streets of Atlantic City to find out more about the dead homeless guy.
Mm-hmm. Dude, also, that scene, when they showed the homeless part of Atlantic City, I was just like, I'm sorry, did we start watching Mad Max suddenly?
Oh, you mean the scene where there apparently are parts of Atlantic City that look like the zombie apocalypse already happened?
Dude, it looks like a wasteland. Yeah. Straight up. I was just like, what is this?
It looks like they were just filming The Walking Dead.
Holy shit, dude. Like, legit.
Like the first season of The Walking Dead when Rick first wakes up.
Yeah.
Like just Atlanta, Georgia, zombie apocalypse.
there was literally just a fire in the street. I cackled, dude. I was just like, that's too much. There's just a fire in the road.
So
Just like that would never happen.
stupid. Like, they tried so hard to be like, this is where the homeless people are.
Yeah. Homeless love their fires.
I know.
Jesus.
Oh, my God. Anyway, he finds another homeless man who knew the dead homeless guy and gives him money in exchange for information and a drawing of the creature that has been terrorizing the neighborhood. And I would very much like to talk to you about this particular drawing, which we will throw up on your screen.
Yeah.
Because it's atrocious.
It's so crude.
Like, to the point
It's
where, like,
so-
Mulder gets it, he's like, are you trying to con me? Because it's just, it looks like it was drawn by, like, an elementary school kid.
Yeah.
Number one.
Like,
Number two, it kind of looks like Marilyn Manson.
oh my God, dude. Holy shit. It does. Just give it fucking tips of the bulge and it's totally Marilyn Manson.
You're
Holy
welcome,
shit.
by the way. Yeah, it looks like
Yeah.
Marilyn Manson.
Yep. Totally Mechanical Animals like era Marilyn Manson.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's so funny. I didn't put that together.
So you're welcome.
Shit, dude.
Oh, excuse me. All right, so Mulder waits in the alleys to try and get a glimpse of the creature. And that night, as though it had been scripted, the creature appears.
Dude, right? Just like that night, one night.
Lucky.
I was
son
out
of a
here
bitch.
until 8:00 and it showed up.
At one
Didn't
point,
wait long.
this has nothing to do with anything else in the episode, but at one point towards the end of the episode, Mulder looks at the clock and it's like 5 to 8, and he's like he's been working for 24 straight hours. Like, he looks at the clock like, I've been here so long, and it's not even 8:00 yet.
God damn it.
But that's
Mulder.
beside the point entirely. I noticed that, and it just made me, like, giggle to myself, but it has nothing to do with the story. All right. Mulder gives chase, but is stopped by the police and taken to jail.
Of course.
And can we just talk about, I don't understand why Mulder doesn't announce himself as FBI when the cops show up.
Right.
He's just like,
it's weird.
don't fucking touch me, meh. Like, how about, hi, I'm FBI, I'm investigating something, and the cops are like, oh, can we see your credentials? Here are my credentials. Oh, have a nice day, sir.
Yeah, I don't understand the arresting of the FBI agent. I can understand being like, get the hell out of here. This is
Yeah.
our case. You're overstepping your bounds. But like throwing him in jail is, I don't know. But I guess he did show up and they already did that, so they caught him again and we're just like, all right, second time,
Maybe.
you're in jail.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But luckily, Detective Dickhead comes back. He and Mulder exchange cheesy puns, and then he leaves.
Yep, that's classic X-Files.
Yeah.
That's what I come here for.
Scully has to come down to Atlantic City to bail Mulder out of prison, which she screams in the middle of the office. You're in the drunk tank?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Like, how about, bitch, calm down.
Yeah, relax. Just come get me.
Jesus
Jesus
Christ.
Christ, I'm not drunk.
I know. Just fucking come get me. I don't understand why you need to announce it to the entire office.
Just airing his laundry out.
I know. So after Scully bails Mulder out of prison, Mulder and Scully go see a professor and discuss the possibility of what Mulder saw could have been.
Holy shit. Professor Ponytail. That guy. I love Professor Ponytail. This guy, he's all bald on the top.
I love it.
Nothing there, right?
Yeah.
He has like the Jesse Ventura, so he's just pulling all this shit back, right? Great. I love it. Second of all, this guy, he talks about something along the lines of like, it's not scientifically impossible. Some sort of prehistoric creature is living in the woods of Jersey. And then he just starts showing like the more crude drawings, like even worse than the Marilyn Manson one.
Oh yeah.
It's just like all these pictures. So he's just like rummaging through. And then those come back into play later, but
Yes.
we'll talk about that.
Okay,
when they come
so
back into play.
speaking of Professor Ponytail,
Mhm.
how is it that Mulder is one of the smartest people in the entire FBI, right? Like literally has his own department.
Yeah.
Okay. From the connections he has and the work he's done and blah, blah, blah. And yet he needs to have the fact that humans are at the top of the food chain explained to him by an archaeologist and his partner.
Oh, dude. It's just like...
And also, are the professor's credentials ever actually given?
Not there, no.
Like, he seems to know Scully on a personal basis, but she's a medical doctor. And this guy is what, like a paleontologist?
Yeah, I believe so.
Because he makes one crack where he's like, oh, she left here with more than just, like she did learn something while she was here or something like that. Like he says something fucking stupid that I don't remember. But like he clearly knows Scully.
Yeah, because Scully was like, there's someone I need you to meet on the way home.
Yeah.
And like she takes him to go see Professor Ponytail.
Right. But so stupid.
Also, before we jump into the next bullet point, Mulder goes back with those drawings, right? And he's sitting in his fucking office.
Oh, we're gonna get to that. We're getting to that. We're gonna get to that.
Oh.
It's coming.
Okay.
It's coming.
Okay. I'm just so excited. You can tell I'm excited.
I know.
Right.
After receiving a call about another body from the park ranger of a naked man missing a tooth like the one that the ranger found in a rabbit that one time, a manhunt for the dead guy's mate begins in a warehouse near where Mulder saw her.
Right.
And the ranger and the professor and the FBI all go to check it out.
Yeah, they all just go rogue. They're just like, we don't need the local police department here.
Yeah. Now, so I actually had a bullet point that you answered for me because I missed this. And my bullet point was there's a picture that you were like really excited to talk about, and we're talking about it right now. So Mulder's sitting in his office and he's flipping through pictures and he comes across this sketch of what appears to be Bigfoot with tits.
It's literally Sasquatch with titties. Like, like take the classic drawing of Sasquatch where he's like walking and looking over his shoulder, right? Like from his side.
Like that famous Sasquatch photo, blurry Sasquatch, but somebody drew it with a pencil and then like just put tits on it.
Just put big fat boobs on it. We're gonna put it up on the screen here, and if not, if you're an audio listener, we're gonna put it on Instagram.
Oh yeah,
I feel
all
like
these every pic we talk about is going on Instagram.
God, dude,
it's so bad. So my question was, which you answered, where did the Bigfoot pic even come from? So he got it from Professor Ponytail. Yep. That I didn't realize because it's so weird that like that picture is what Mulder is looking at and then gets the idea on how to solve the case.
Oh my God, dude. He's literally sitting in the chair in his office alone. Like it's after hours, clearly. He's flipping through
That's when he looks at the friggin' clock and goes, 8 o'clock,
Yeah. Yep.
While Scully's on her date.
and he flips through it and he finds the Sasquatch with titties. And then literally like this like tribal music happens, like some pan flutes happen. And he's just like looking at it, he's like, oh, like the whole thing just
the answer
open.
Is titties.
Right. Okay. Not to spoil too much where we're going, but did that look like anything like?
No.
Like it didn't.
Nothing.
No,
it looked nothing like anything. It was
my God, dude.
Titties. It was so stupid. Big.
Literally penciled on titties on that side.
Titties.
Dude. But like that cracked the case for Mulder.
Correct.
Like that did it.
That's all he needed because he's Mulder.
God.
All right. So anyway, they go on a manhunt for the dead guy's mate, which begins in a warehouse near where Mulder had seen her in that alley.
Yeah.
And the ranger and the professor and the FBI and Gilligan and the skipper, they all go.
Yeah, and they're in their rogue.
Yes, they've gone rogue.
Yeah.
And of course, this rogue mission is crashed by Detective Douchebag. Mm-hmm. And what appears to be the SWAT team, even though the detective has been adamantly saying there's nothing to worry about this entire time.
Right, yep. Also, dude, I just want to point out, how funny is it to look at SWAT teams in show compared to like a SWAT team today.
Oh my
Like, they're
god,
just, like,
dude!
wearing, like,
The
little
guy
hats.
with the weird hat and the fucking mustache
Yeah.
just turns around with a fucking assault rifle. Like,
Yep.
oh, SWAT's here.
They have like little like earpiece that comes to their like, yeah, dude, it's crazy. It's
Yes.
it looks funny.
Also, I'm not going to get into detail because personally Scully pisses me off most of the time in these episodes. But JR's hot takes. The X-Files is still an enjoyable show without Scully. You don't need Scully
fair.
for this to be a good show. It's
yeah,
not the
that's
X-Files. It's not the X-Files without Scully. Like, you still need Scully for it to be the X-Files.
Right.
But I would have enjoyed the
It'd still be a
show.
good show.
Yeah, it still could have been a good show without her.
That's fair. Yeah. I mean, listen, I'll take 2 pieces of eye candy. Yeah, that's fine. You got Mulder, you got Scully. They're good looking people. What are you gonna say? What are you gonna do?
Fair enough. All right. So they find the girl, obviously, because it's a scripted television show. Scully should have worn more sensible shoes, and Mulder gets laid out and then straddled by the wild girl.
Yep. And Mulder immediately falls in love. You can just see it in his face.
Dude, yes. And I have my bullet point for that whole scene is wild woman hits Mulder like a free safety. Just
Yes.
wide receiver coming across the middle.
Like, punched him in the ribs. He flew across the sewer or whatever.
She shoulder checked him.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah,
it
she
ripped his shirt open.
She shoulder checked him. No, but then like she straddles him, and then somebody else is coming. She hears it, and then she like punches him in the stomach and like rips out his spleen, and he's just
Pretty
like
much, yeah.
he's just in the ambulance getting stitched up.
Oh god, dude, that's hilarious.
Okay, so they find the girl, they chase the girl. Scully should have worn more sensible shoes. Mulder gets laid out and then straddled. They corner the girl, she escapes, and they chase her into the woods. Luckily, Park Ranger Steve knows where they could go for cover.
Yep.
Or where she would go for cover.
And just real quick.
Yeah.
This is where they pretty much piece it together. They're like, oh, okay, the Jersey Devil is the mate of another, and then Mulder thinks it's a primate. Like an old like primate or like
Neanderthal.
Neanderthal. Thank you. That's the word I'm looking for. And this is where I got confused. I was like, is it the mate of the naked man from 47?
No.
Or it's a more recent one,
yes.
right? Okay.
Yeah, because they said that
that's where I was getting confused.
This guy was determined to be about the dead guy. The dead Neanderthal man was determined to be about 40 years of age, and the girl was determined to be about 25 to 30.
Okay.
Also, this has everything to do with the Scully side plot that we weren't really discussing, but I feel like it needs to be said because I didn't understand it. Is it just me, or is it weird that the guy that Scully went on the date with continuously suggests she use her godson as an excuse to keep seeing him?
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Dude, that whole thing was weird. It was just so dry and uncomfortable. And here's the thing, right? You go out on a date, right? You're out on a date, and you're at this presumably fancy restaurant, and this dude, it's just like, my son this and my son that. How about you come take out my son swimming sometime? It's just like,
yeah,
bro.
Like, why don't you pick up your godson? I'll take my real son, and we'll go to the beach. And it's like
so weird.
Like I kind of get like, okay, let's take the pressure off like you and I going on a date, but at the same time, like, you're on a fucking date right now.
Right. Also, do you really want your second date to be like weekend dad with kid and
so
your godson?
Stupid. This guy's such a freaking idiot.
Let's get a couple in first, right?
Yeah, that just got me. So
yeah.
Okay, so luckily Park Ranger Steve knows where they would go for cover. Ranger Rick, same guy as Park Ranger Steve,
aka Park Ranger Steve. Next line now is a different name for him. Oh shit.
Anyway, he hits her with a trank dart that could, quote unquote, put down a 500-pound bear for an hour. She pulls it out and keeps running like nothing happened.
Yeah, literally.
Like, legitimately. Just, oh, what's this in my back? Fuck you.
Yeah. Flips it out.
Yeah.
But
Fucking nuts. SWAT finds her, and SWAT kills her. Back at FBI headquarters, Mulder sulks. Scully brings him the autopsy report on the naked wild girl. They determine that the woman had evidence of giving birth.
Yeah. And then Mulder is all like, I wonder if the Jersey Devil is just a woman, and if it feels emotion, or if it just spends its all day looking for food. Scully's all like, I wonder if it spends its day shopping.
That was in the warehouse. That was
in the warehouse.
That was in the warehouse. That's why I said like this show could have been done without Scully. There's no reason for her to be in this episode at all, and the show as a whole probably could have been done without her.
That's fair.
Hot takes.
So yeah, they bring in the autopsy, and then it just turns out it was a naked feral lady, and Mulder was in love with her, the whole time, and not at all the Jersey Devil.
Yep, that's essentially correct. The last scene of the show is that of a father-son duo walking through the woods, and he tells his son about the legend of the Jersey Devil. Devil, not the devil. Once they pass, out of a hole emerges the wild offspring, and that's how it ends.
Yeah, it's such a lame ending, but whatever.
Also, I could be completely wrong because I didn't feel the need to look it up at IMDb, but I'm pretty sure the dad in the last scene with the son is also the dad from 1947 that gets taken when he's changing the tire.
Oh, no shit.
Just like the same actor playing two different people.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Dude, so you get a lot of, like, not only that in the X-Files, but, man, have you ever seen, like, there's, like, an episode with, like, what's his name? The guy who plays Deadpool.
Ryan Reynolds?
Yes. A baby Ryan Reynolds. Baby face Ryan Reynolds. He's like, he's like a little bit chubby, and it looks nothing like him.
Oh my god,
at all.
amazing.
It's crazy. But when I was watching it, Jessica picked up on it immediately. He's like, "That's Ryan Reynolds." I was like, "Bullshit!" And I looked it up, and it was him.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Jack Black's in an episode. I believe Seth Green's in an episode. But this is all before they were named. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Well, that's what happened with. It was the same thing with like Friends and Seinfeld. Like everybody at some point was on those shows.
Like Hugh Laurie's house. Yep. Like he sat next to Rachel on a plane in Friends and was like a complete ass.
Yes, the entire time. It was hilarious.
Crazy. It's funny. Love stuff, dude.
All right. So now that's the full episode of X-Files.
Yeah, no Jersey Devil at all.
Exactly. It was titled Jersey Devil. However, the X-Files decided to just use the name and do absolutely nothing with the Jersey Devil itself, which I think is hilarious because, like, in later shows, it's just like, oh, here's like a shit ton of weird shit. Like, you could have easily done an actual Jersey Devil episode, but it is what it is.
In season 2, there was like that leach man.
Yeah,
like that lives in the sewer.
Yes, that like attacked Scully in her house or something.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to online and documented firsthand encounters with the actual Jersey Devil, not the feral lady who lives in the woods in the X-Files.
Right, the real guy.
So, according to legend, while visiting the Hanover Mills works to inspect his cannonballs being forged, Commodore Stephen Decatur sighted a flying creature and fired a cannonball directly upon it to no effect. That's one.
Yeah, like how do you like? It's just so weird because like all of these are documented too. Like these are like documented like encounters.
Yep.
Firing a cannonball to something just no effect. That's wild.
Pretty weird.
You missed. You probably missed.
Oh wait, Joseph Bonaparte, elder brother of Napoleon, is also claimed to have seen the Jersey Devil while hunting on his Bordentown estate in 1820. During 1840, the Jersey Devil was blamed for several livestock killings. Similar attacks were reported during 1841, accompanied by tracks and screams.
Damn.
So that's pretty cool. I mean, that's some clout, right? You got a Napoleon brother.
Yeah, right? Is that guy, yeah, clout.
Joseph Bonaparte. All right. In Greenwich, during December 1925, a local farmer shot an unidentified animal as it attempted to steal his chickens and then photographed the corpse. Afterwards, he claimed that none of the 100 people he showed it to could identify it. Evidently,
That's weird.
they claim it's a Jersey Devil. Yeah. It is weird
I
that
wonder.
they can't, like, just tell you what it is.
And this is 1925.
Yeah.
Photography was a thing then, right?
Mhm.
It's weird that no one had a picture of it. But also, I guess photography was expensive in 25, so I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know what Greenwich is about, but.
Hey, it's got to be Greenwich, Jersey, right? It's the Jersey Devil.
Right.
On July 27th, 1937, an unknown animal with red eyes, seen by residents of Downingstown, Pennsylvania, was compared to the Jersey Devil by a reporter for the Pennsylvania Bulletin of July 28, 1937. Because I think the Pines Forest runs into Pennsylvania, if I'm not mistaken. Or like that area is very close to Pennsylvania.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because it does
share
border
the forest.
It does share a border,
Yeah.
so. I guess, the Jersey Devil doesn't know about borders.
Yeah, he doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Jersey Devil, Pennsylvania Devil, whatever.
Doesn't have the same ring to it, though. In 1951, a group of Gibbstown, New Jersey boys claimed to have seen a monster matching the devil's description, and claims of a corpse matching the Jersey Devil's description arose in 1957, which is kind of interesting because that would make it dead?
Well, exactly.
Unless it has somehow reproduced.
Right. Well, again, same thing with the other guy who shot it, and 100 people claimed to saw the body.
Right. So it has to have reproduced. Otherwise, it's also 200 years old. But that's beside the point entirely.
Yeah. There's a couple little devils out there.
Yeah. Devlets.
Yeah, it just self-reproduces.
All right. During 1960, tracks and noises heard near Mays Landing were claimed to be from the Jersey Devil. And during the same year, the merchants around Camden offered a $10,000 reward for the capture of the Jersey Devil, even offering to build a private zoo to house the creature if it was captured.
That's cool.
Yes. Could you fucking imagine? Go see the Jersey Devil?
Yeah, right? You can actually go see him.
I'd pay for that shit.
So,
we're still trying to... Oh, I'd probably not, right? Because COVID, the Mothman Festival's probably not happening this year.
Probably not, unfortunately.
That sucks.
A lot of things probably aren't happening this year.
Yeah. We're definitely not traveling. We're not going to be able to do any remote shows this year because we wanted to stay in the haunted house and do a show from a haunted house overnight. We wanted to do Mothman returns at the Mothman Festival, which we thought would be kind of fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, that just sprang because I was like, how cool would it be to just go do an episode on the Jersey Devil while looking at the Jersey Devil?
That'd be fun. Yeah, I like all these accounts, but I mean, and again, they're, like I said, they're all documented accounts. One thing that I noticed with the Jersey Devil, though, is it's not like ones that we've done in the past. It's not like Goatman. It's not like Mothman, where it's just like a couple of people that saw it and told people and they didn't believe them. Jersey Devil, it's just like, no, this guy shot one, and 100 people saw the corpse and was just like, what the hell is that you shot there, son?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And like, there's
100%.
a lot of people just being like, yeah, I saw it. It looks like this, and everyone like corroborates that story. Now, whether that's just like a mass paranoia,
yeah,
I don't know.
Well, it was like, what was the Australian cryptid that we did? Bunyip.
Bunyip.
Right?
Yep.
Remember when we did Bunyip and they were like, oh, I killed this thing. What is it? Must be a Bunyip. You know what I mean? Like they couldn't identify it, so they just labeled it Bunyip. Maybe like they couldn't identify it and they were like, oh, it's got to be a Jersey Devil.
Right. And here's the thing, too, with stuff like that. Well, the Jersey Devil in particular is the description of the Jersey Devil stays consistent. It's not like the Bunyip where it was just like, well, sometimes Bunyip's long, and sometimes Bunyip's short, sometimes Bunyip's fat, and other times Bunyip's skinny. It's just
sometimes like, Bunyip looks like a dog. Sometimes it's got a big, long neck and a hammerhead. Yeah. Like, what?
Sometimes it has long, greasy hair. It's just like, huh? Human face. What the fuck? So, yeah. So I do enjoy that about the Jersey Devil, how everything collaborates.
Okay.
Going on to that.
Yeah, so let's get deeper into these sightings.
Well, so like I was saying, it could be like a mass hysteria thing, and this actually goes right into that. The sightings of 1909.
Okay.
Said during the week of January 16th through 23rd, 1909, newspapers of the time published hundreds of claimed encounters with the Jersey Devil from all over the state. Among alleged encounters publicized that week were claims the creature attacked a trolley car in Haddon Heights on a social club in Camden. Police in Camden and Bristol, Pennsylvania, supposedly fired on the creature to no effect.
Oh,
so
it's
there he is
bulletproof.
going.
Yeah, it's just
Yep.
bulletproof.
Jumping
I mean, it
borders
makes
again.
sense, right? Because the fucking thing withstood a cannonball. So what are
Right.
a couple bullets going to do?
Yeah, big lead, little lead, it doesn't matter. It takes no lead.
It's the opposite of Superman.
Exactly. Other reports initially concerned unidentified footprints in the snow. Soon, sightings of the creature resembling the Jersey Devil were being reported throughout South Jersey and as far away as Delaware and Western Maryland.
Huh.
So again, he's flying away out there now.
Yeah, Jersey Devil has no borders.
That's right. The widespread newspaper coverage created fear throughout Delaware Valley, prompting a number of schools to close and workers to stay at home. Vigilante groups and groups of hunters roamed the pines in the countryside in search of the devil. During this period, it is rumored that the Philadelphia Zoo posted a $10,000 reward for the creature. The offer prompted the hoaxes and kangaroo equipped with artificial claws and bat wings.
Oh my god, I'd love to see that.
All right, holy crap!
Where's that picture? Why couldn't we find that picture?
Right, I know we got to dig that one up. But again, this is so. Not only is because again, it's like I was saying earlier with the goat man, it's like a farmer that got scared, or with Mothman, it's just like a sighting here or there. Yeah. This was like 4 states that were just freaking out over the Jersey Devil.
Yeah,
it was in the newspaper. Schools were closing. These people saw something and were terrified. Like they saw something for real, legit. Like,
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's just like being thrown out there about a Jersey Devil, like something that can't be explained. That like it's not just like, oh, there's a couple sightings and ooh, there's some scary stories about it and we tell it at campfires. Like there have been people who shot something couldn't been identified by 100 people, and they're like, oh, must be a Jersey Devil.
Yeah, exactly. So all these people cooperated with this, and everyone was on board. They all thought they had Jersey Devil on their hands. That's cool.
I mean, it's pretty nutty. So, so let's go to the next story. Did we see the Jersey Devil? Posted by Reddit user when I came down. My 2 friends and I spent a week in New Jersey several years ago. We'll call them Alice and Jane for the story's purpose. I don't remember exactly what part of Jersey they were in, but the house we were staying in was a guest house in the backyard of the main house, which was owned by Alice's grandparents, and behind the guest house was a fence. The fence was a wooden fence about 7 feet high, and it had spaces in between each slat of wood about an inch apart. Behind the fence was just woods, but there was a grassy space right against the fence on the other side. It was around 11 p.m. at night, and we were all outside behind the guest house, between the guest house and the fence. We were all smoking cigarettes, just talking, when we start to hear a crunching of something walking on the other side of the fence. At first, we assume it's just an animal, which is nothing unusual, till Alice says it sounds like it's walking on 2 legs. We all stop to listen, and all agree that it does. Nobody should be back there, especially this late at night. No human, at least. We listen for a couple seconds. When I begin to make out a figure between the spaces in the fence. I'm looking down towards the ground when my eyes adjust, and I notice what looks like a deer standing on its hind legs. And as if I were in a movie, my eyes begin to scan upwards of whatever I'm looking at, and right when I've reached the eyes, I see a shining glare of the back porch light reflected off its eyes, and it's at least 2 feet taller than all of us. It's peeking through. Before I could even open my mouth, Jane lets out, "Oh shit, go, go, go," and we all run as fast as we could to to the front door of the guest house and lock ourselves inside. Jane and I concurred with what each other seen, both agreeing it looked like a deer on its hind legs. Alice said, right as Jane began to yell, she had noticed that it was slightly taller than the fence. Ugh. We were scared shitless for the rest of the night, trying to rationalize what we'd seen. It wasn't until weeks later we started discussing the Jersey Devil. I don't know what we saw. None of us did. We laugh about it now, but I still often wonder what it was. Dude, fuck that.
Yeah, what do you think about that? Yeah, right? Like,
fuck that.
So
if
that's
that story is not a bunch of bullshit, it could be made up. It might not be made up. On like which subreddit did you find this on?
Oh God, dude, I don't even know.
Because usually on the smaller subreddits, like people don't fuck around.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like the more obscure subreddits, people are just there to like be honest and share things. On the other like more mainstream subreddits, like that's when you get like people that are just doing it for a laugh or doing it for the attention of the story sometimes. But yeah, dude, if this is true, that no thank you.
And here's another thing too that's kind of weird. Growing up, my parents did a lot of like Ren Fair and like LARP stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So they met a lot of people from the surrounding areas who would travel to Ren Fairs and LARP with them and whatever. And we had a lot of friends who lived in New Jersey. And the Jersey Devil has been a topic for them multiple times growing up. So to me, it's always just kind of been something that's real, in a sense. You know what I mean? As opposed
to
like
Jersey Devil is like the chupacabra.
Right.
Like
a lot of people
always been around, and it's always getting spotted.
Right. I remember we had friends. One particular friend who he lived out in a rural area, like out in the woods, and he said he was just like, I never go outside past 10 o'clock. He's like, aside of just the normal animals that are out there that are dangerous, he was just like, I just don't feel like it's safe. He's like, there's something about it. He's like, he would say that like, he would just feel like there was something else out there with him.
Oh yeah. If I take my dog out, because I take my dog out every night, I try to get him out between like 10 and 10:30 before bed, right? And if I like fall asleep on the couch or whatever, and I end up taking him out at like 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Dude, it is the eeriest, creepiest thing on the planet, number one. Number two,
you bugging out?
Dude, I actually have a can of bear spray.
Yeah.
That I just bring out with me because, like, I don't know what the fuck is out there.
You think bear spray is going to take care of the Jersey Devil one day?
I don't know if it's going to take care of the Jersey Devil, but it'll take care of a bear, a coyote.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Just apart from, like, wildlife, you know?
Yeah, it's all right, so let's go into the Jersey Devil pictures, drawings, interpretations of the Jersey Devil. Some of these I looked at because these are obviously bad. This was all done online, and some of these are pretty bad. Some of these I was like, are you even trying?
Well, I mean, for instance, the very first one, that's real. Hands down, that's real.
Shut the fuck up.
Dude, it literally looks like it was drawn in MS Paint.
It looks like they put wings on one of the hyenas from The Lion King and stood it up on its hind legs and then just put it over a backdrop of the woods.
Dude, like, I can't argue that description. That's
so
exactly
bad.
what it looks like.
It's so bad.
Yep. Oh, dude, it's rancid.
The next one is a drawing of the original description that we gave first in the podcast, which is the goat or horse-like head, the short little arms with claws, the forked tail, the hind legs that look like hooves, and the bat wings.
Quick question here.
Yeah.
How at all does that thing function? Look at the anatomy of that fucking thing. How does that function?
It is entirely top heavy, but that's what the wings are for, right? Because it doesn't really need to do anything but fly. But no horns.
Are you sure there's not like goat horns curled up there?
Oh, maybe. I thought those were ears, but it could be.
Yeah, I thought those were maybe goat horns.
You're right. That's fair. But yeah, it does not look anatomically like it would be able to function in any way, shape, or form. Like it looks, the way it's drawn, it looks like it should be walking around on all fours, but it has T-Rex arms.
Yeah.
So it looks like Pegasus tried to like.
And like, look at those legs, dude.
Yeah.
Those are gonna snap under the weight of that.
I know.
The neck alone.
Little twig legs.
Oh, dude.
All right. The next one is the Jersey Rat Devil.
Yeah, that's just a squirrel with mange.
It literally just looks like a hairless black squirrel.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
It's still creepy as fuck.
Yeah, it's a rat with alopecia or a squirrel with alopecia or something, dude.
It's gross.
No hair.
Super gross.
All
right. The next one is a drawing, which is much more. I mean, it's clearly like fan art.
It's like furry art, straight up.
What fucking furries are you hanging out with?
All of them, man.
Because all the ones I hang out with, not like that.
No.
No, much
right.
more cuddly.
You gotta branch out a little. Maybe.
That's fair. All right. Next furry convention I go to, I will. I'll go to the dark room.
Look out for the feces in the jacuzzi. All right.
Ugh.
You ever hear that story?
No.
Oh, can I tell it real quick?
You sure can.
Oh man. So I forget where it happened, but there was a furry convention, and then right next door there was a jacuzzi in the hotel. There was a hotel next door to the convention.
Right.
The hotel had a jacuzzi. A lot of the furries were staying at this hotel. A lot of them were having sex in the jacuzzi together, and they had to shut it down because the feces in the jacuzzi was vaporizing and making people sick, and like. Because like the steam from
right, like
from
it was boiling. Okay, so there was a lot of anal sex.
Yeah.
Happening in the jacuzzi. Yeah. And the fecal matter that was either expelled upon finishing.
Yep.
Or the remnants of which was left on one of the participants' appendages.
Right.
Was then slowly cooking off in the hot jacuzzi water, causing it to vaporize into fumes, infecting the nostrils of everyone and causing them to become ill.
They had to shut the hotel down. Because people were getting sick.
The worst story I've ever heard.
I know, dude.
And I'm not talking like it's a great story, but that's the worst thing I could have ever like imagined. And I don't know if I believe it. Is there an actual proof of this happening?
Let's see.
I'm sure there is.
Last I checked, there was.
That's unfortunate. While you're looking this up, I'm going to describe the furry that we've been talking about.
Okay.
It's fan art. It's essentially, it looks like it's got the head of a wolf instead of the head of a goat or a horse. However, they put deer antlers on it, gave it normal bat wings, nice big claws, tail, and the lower half of it just kind of looks like every depiction of the devil from South Park.
Yeah, you're right. It just kind of.
It's just got like, it looks like the what you call it? Oh my God, what's that cryptid that we did? Goatman.
Yeah.
It's got like the lower half of Goatman, but it's got like the devil tail.
Yeah.
So, did you find it?
I did not. God, I'm also not looking in the right place.
That's okay. We'll move on to the next photo.
I swear.
I believe you. I believe you. I believe that it actually happened. I want to believe that it actually happened.
I want to say it was like 2007, 2008. It was like
the
a while ago.
I want to believe.
Hey, anybody listening, if you have the correction, write us.
The next photo.
Oh man, the next one. Yeah.
Looks like It looks like somebody put Halloween black wings on a goat and then threw it in the air.
I was gonna say it looks like somebody put horns and wings on it on like a tailless cat and just threw it in the air and took a picture.
As hard as they could, they just threw it as high and as far as humanly possible, and that's the. And then they just snapped a picture, like, "Look,
Dude,
guys,
seriously.
Jersey Devil."
Y'all believe that?
Oh, it's so bad.
Oh god, dude, that was pretty bad.
Yeah,
That was.
and then
It looks like bad taxidermy. They just
it
whipped it
really.
there.
Oh my God, that's exactly what it is. It's somebody had like somebody's aspiring taxidermist that fucked around with a bunch of dead animals, and
Yeah.
that's what it was. And then they just threw it and took a picture. You're so right. You are so right.
It's what. Yeah, dude, hands down, that's what it looks like.
All right.
That's crazy.
The next picture is actually the most convincing for me.
Yeah.
I mean, from comparatively speaking.
Okay.
Comparatively
Comparatively speaking, sure.
We have what looks to be like a small deer, maybe Bambi, running.
Maybe Bambi.
Maybe Bambi. I don't know. Running from what looks to be a weirdly shaped winged creature.
Yeah.
I don't know where this tripod came from that they're running around, but I mean, that's what it looks like. It's I don't know. It's the best Photoshop we've seen so far.
I was gonna say it looks very Photoshop.
Yeah.
Like the other ones could be Photoshop or they could be practical. The first one definitely not Photoshop, right? But
no, the first one's the most realistic we've seen so far. Fuck you.
This one's just like it's just so blurry and
yeah. Well, I mean, like so is every fucking Bigfoot one, but you know,
it's true.
We'll tackle him again too.
Everything else in the focus. That's the weird
Yes.
thing.
All right, this is my personal favorite.
Oh, yeah.
This is my favorite Jersey Devil photo ever. It is legitimately an antelope with bat wings.
Yeah.
Somebody took a picture of an antelope, put bat wings on it with Photoshop, if that, maybe even Microsoft Paint. They clearly painted this tail. Do you see the tail on this thing? That is Microsoft Paint.
Oh my god, dude! I didn't even notice.
Yeah.
They just took the brush and just made those three strokes. And it was just like
exactly. And it's not even on the ground.
Well, it's mid-flight. It's flapping its wings in the brush and flying.
All right, I'll give you that one. You can have that one. It's the worst thing I've ever seen in my life, and I love it.
It's pretty bad.
And then our last Jersey Devil photo is, of course, the one from the X-Files of Marilyn Manson.
Yeah, the Marilyn Manson. Just, minus the boobs and bulge. That's it.
Boobs and bulge.
Holy shit, dude.
If you asked a 6th grader to draw Marilyn Manson, this is what you get.
That's what you get. Yeah.
100%.
And you asked me to draw Marilyn Manson. That's what you get.
Oh, my God. Yes, fair enough.
So I was poking around on the internet because I wanted to find like some silly pop culture stuff.
Yeah.
About Jersey Devil. It was surprisingly a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. So I came up a little short. I did find a few things.
Go ahead.
I found a game on the PlayStation 1 called Jersey Devil. Never heard of it, but it's on sale at Amazon, and I found a picture of it. There it is.
I only had PlayStation 2.
That's fair. I played PlayStation 1, though.
Yeah. Oh, I did. No, I played PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, I never played that game. Never even heard of that game.
No.
And from what I could tell, it was rare because it was pretty fucking expensive.
Really?
It was like over $100, dude.
What?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So either that or someone's trying to con me. So
Never know.
Yeah, it's the nature of the beast. Also, I found out that there's a movie from 2005 called The Jersey Devil, but it's just the origin story. It's nothing special. It just talks about
I love the tagline. 100 years is a long time to wait, even for the devil.
even for the devil. Just wait longer. It's like Ace Ventura. If I'm not out in 10 minutes, just wait longer.
Oh my god, that's so fucking good.
So yeah. So again, it wasn't easy. But if anybody out there listening or watching right now, if you guys know any cool pop culture stuff on Jersey Devil, please let us know. Email us, 4guysmedianetwork@gmail.com.
I want to watch this movie.
check it out.
I want to do an episode on this movie.
You want to do it?
Yeah, absolutely. I want
Okay.
to do it. I want to do an episode on this movie.
All right, guys.
Doesn't have
Keep
to be
your eyes
next
peeled
week,
for-
but if we can find it, if we can find this movie for free
Oh, free.
on a streaming service.
I ain't getting paid to watch that shit.
No. Oh, by the way, this has actually, I mean, it could kind of be tied into a cryptid. Maybe. But you and I are going to watch a movie together, but not in the same room because you live in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
But we're going to watch a movie on Amazon Prime called Velocipaster.
Velocipaster, huh?
Yes, it's about a priest whose parents are killed, and then he's stabbed by some weird ancient thing, artifact, that makes him turn into a velociraptor.
But he's still a pastor.
He's still a priest who is also a velociraptor, who is also friends with a hooker, who also knows karate.
Shit, dude. Talk about living the life.
It's the worst movie I've ever seen in my life.
You watched it already?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, god damn, dude.
And I don't care. I'd watch it
Sounds rough.
again. I'll watch it again. I made Jill watch it. She literally looked at me halfway through and went, "Fuck you." What is this? Fuck you.
Oh,
I digress.
dude. I thought it would be fun for our podcast to have listener viewer stories.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, the more we get, the better. Anytime anyone wants to submit a listener story, feel free to go to our website, 4guysmedia.com. You can email us directly from that website. It's the number 4, guysmedia.com. Scroll right to the bottom of the website. You can email us directly from there. You can also just email us directly at the number 4, guysmedianetwork@gmail.com. Feel free to DM us if you really want to on Instagram, whatever works, it is what it is.
Yeah, that's how I got this one.
Yeah.
From my DM.
Chris, take this one away because I'm excited to hear this listener story.
Yeah. Like JR said, we'd love to hear from you, so guys. Please write in. So our listener story today comes from Instagram user at Anders Vogge at _ photography. It's spelled out Andersvaage is Norwegian. That's Vogge.
Yeah.
Go check him out. He has beautiful pictures all over Norway. It's his work is great. Also a good friend of mine. We used to stream together. He's just great. Love the guy to death. But he's been a friend of mine for the last 2 years. He wrote me in my DM, so I'm kind of piecing it together so it makes more sense because obviously there was replies in between here of mine. But anyway, so he writes, "Hi MIOH podcast. Your podcast is awesome. I must confess I have not listened to it before, but now you're top of my list. I started on the beginning. I started it last night while doing my puzzle. I'm going to start episode 5. I'm binging it when I puzzle because I can be sat down for a few hours. I listen to it on my bike ride to and from work. Also in the early mornings when I wash the waiting hall of the train station. I have been essential at work the whole time, so not many changes to my routine, but many changes around me as it's been some crazy months. I really enjoyed the episode about Eastern State Penitentiary. The old prison in Bergen, where I live, was finished in 1862 and in operation all the way to 1991. They built it based on the Pennsylvania model, which I guess is how they built the eastern states. I've seen a bunch of Urbex videos, which is a YouTuber. He does a lot of like urban discovery. I watched a bunch of Urbex videos from various locations like that. Very eerie stuff because of what they did in many of those places. One story from my prison in town is that the big city fire of 1916, all the prisoners were let loose for safety reasons. They were all told to report back when the fire situation had cooled down, and everybody did. It was a small building, though, 57 prisoners originally, and then the Germans added another floor during World War II, so maybe just over 100 prisoners in total. The building is still there, but they removed a section of it when building a new courthouse. So that's pretty much it. Again, that was Instagram users and is Baage, BAAGE _ photography. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. We appreciate you writing into the show. And like I said multiple times before, if you'd like to write in to us, please do, because I love this stuff. Email us, the number 4guysmedianetwork@gmail.com, or go to www.4guysmedia.com and contact us at the bottom page.
Yeah.
Just include that it's a MIOH listener story. That way, we're not looking over it, because I would honestly hate it if you wrote in and we overlooked it,
because we're getting so many emails on a daily basis.
So
put in the subject line, listener story.
Yeah, exactly. We'd love to hear from our listeners, especially if you had any sort of paranormal experience, or like if you think something's a conspiracy. And what I mean by that is, like, mattress discounters, the stores.
Yep.
It's a money laundering front. I can't prove it, but how are there so many mattress discounter stores everywhere, every street corner? Dude, in DC there is a street corner that has 3 of them, all in one corner. No way, those are all staying in business. It's a scam. Anyway,
conspiracy pastas.
Something along the lines of that, right?
Yeah.
If you think it's conspiracy. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
We want
to hear from you.
Absolutely. Also, if you wish to stay anonymous, please say so we can respect your wishes right up front.
Absolutely.
We don't want to put anyone on blast. This is just for fun. We're just doing this for fun.
I'd love to know if that prison has any evidence of being haunted.
Oh, I mean, I bet.
Like Anders, I want Anders to go spend a night at the prison and then write us again.
You might do it.
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
Anders,
I plan on.
Please be careful. And if you get uncomfortable at all, please leave immediately.
I'd be very upset what would happen to you.
But if you could on Amazon buy a $50 GoPro, because they make them. They're pretty great. They come with 2 batteries. I'm using one right now. If you could record some stuff overnight at that prison. But obviously, if it's illegal, don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do anything illegal.
No B&E. We don't want any of that stuff.
No, don't do anything illegal. But if nobody stops you, whatever. So yeah, that's the Jersey Devil episode. Any final thoughts, Chris, on the devil?
The devil. I like the Jersey Devil a lot. Again, it's one of the conspiracies that isn't just a few crackpots being like, "Oh, I saw something." There's a lot of people who are just like, all the way from the 1800s all the way up to modern day. There are still people who think that they see the Jersey Devil outside, as we can tell from the Reddit user that wrote a story about it.
Absolutely.
Maybe it's just a mass hysteria thing. Maybe it's just some sort of phenomenon. Who knows? Maybe there really is a Jersey Devil out there. I don't know. But
I think
I'd love to find out for real one day.
This is definitely one of those cryptids that has the most credibility.
I agree with that.
In my opinion. This cryptid has the most credibility. This is like the Loch Ness Monster. You know what I mean? Or Bigfoot even, where it's just there's so many people that have seen it. And I think personally it's more credible than either of those two, because
that's fair.
There's people who have killed it and don't know what it is, and it's just determined that it is the Jersey Devil. I don't know if it's like actually a Jersey Devil, but
hairless bear or whatever.
right, like it could be a lot of different things, but at the same time, like you don't see people going, "Hey, look, I shot and killed a Bigfoot."
Right.
Or like you don't see somebody going out to Loch Ness and going, I caught Nessie.
Yeah, we got a baby Nessie here. Come take a look. Yeah.
So I think in terms of like, and there's nothing to prove that these people aren't completely, just whacked out crackpots, but there's a lot of people that have seen the Jersey Devil, had encounters with the Jersey Devil. Like it's that, and I think that's probably why it's my favorite cryptid, besides the fact that it's just a great fucking origin story. Like the origin story on this is so amazing, in my opinion. But just the fact that this thing is like seen by everybody.
Right. Everyone. They closed schools down for it.
Yeah.
Like it was in the newspaper. Like,
and
not just as like
we may have more Jersey Devil stories coming in. Hopefully. I mean, I went to college with a lot of people from Jersey, and I've tried to reach out and see if anybody has them or knows people who have them. So hopefully they'll be sending those soon, because that'd be awesome.
Cool. Yeah, that would be fun to read. Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's how we're going to wrap up this time on the Mystery Inner History podcast. Be sure to check out our new website, the number 4 guysmedia.com, for news updates and a list of all of our podcasts. We have a few things that have been put on hold because of COVID, one of which is the Dad Vice podcast. That is still coming in 2020. I just have to figure out how it's going to work, because it can't work in my studio.
Yeah.
Yet.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, I wouldn't mind masking up and just having a talk sesh with somebody down here, but my wife would not have that, which I don't blame her.
Yeah, that makes sense. You got an infant in the house, man.
Exactly.
I get that.
So we're going to try and figure that out, because I wanted to do something much more than just a phone interview. We also have a new project that is still being built. It's called Someone Else's Shoes, and it's going to be, I'm going to attempt to interview somebody each week with a unique situation.
Okay.
Could be, I mean, literally could just be anything. Could be somebody who is, actually, I have one person lined up to interview who's immunocompromised. They live with immunocompromisation every day. They've been living with it before COVID, and so I'm going to get into kind of what life was like before this pandemic, and what they've been doing during the pandemic, when really leaving their house is potentially fatal, period.
Right, yeah. That'd be interesting to listen to.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Stuff like that. I have another buddy who is a ex-Army Ranger, I want to say, Army Special Forces. So just kind of get his story, and what he's doing now is just absolutely amazing. So just kind of unique stories like that I want to kind of try and touch on each week. Mike's mini history lessons are up and running and have been going smoothly.
They're doing pretty well.
Yeah, they're fantastic. I think on iTunes they've been doing okay. I haven't checked YouTube in a while, but I think they're doing pretty good on the 4 Guys Media Network YouTube channel. But I know that Mike has a bunch of friends who are teachers who have been stuck at home, parents who are stuck at home, and those are just kind of really cool things to kind of pass the time and use as teaching tools. And hopefully the Can I Finish podcast will be coming back as well. I'm just working out the logistics with Billy to try and get that back up and running, because Billy doesn't have the stuff at home to do what you and I do. So it's much more difficult for him to do it in his current living situation, with roommates and stuff like that. So it's much easier for him to just drive up here and record in the studio. That's why we built the studio for stuff like that. But, so we're working out the logistics of that. Hopefully that'll be able to come back on soon too. And that is everything, I think. So until what's that?
Lot down the line here.
Yes. Hopefully, as of right now, everything will be up and running and launched by the end of 2020.
Yeah, right.
Like
2020 is.
I plan on having episode 1. I plan on having at least one episode of every single podcast before Q4.
Okay.
So,
that's fun.
And we will take it from there. So we will see you next time, guys. Stay frosty.
Yeah. See you later, y'all.
Bye. Hey guys, thanks for listening. If you have any suggestions or topics for us to cover, email us at 4guysmedianetwork@gmail.com. If you're on the go, you can subscribe to our shows on iTunes. Be sure to check out our Patreon page, 4Guys Media Network, for access to exclusive content like minisodes and more. We have a lot of goals to hit, so we can keep improving and continue providing more content ad-free. So all of your donations are greatly appreciated. Make sure you subscribe to the 4Guys Media Network YouTube channel for all of our other projects by clicking the link on the right. And lastly, if you want to watch another episode, just click the link on the left. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.